Yes, beta. You remember we were talking about ELISA technique. We were talking about ELISA. Okay. What is the full form of ELISA? What is the full form of ELISA?
Enzyme-linked immunosorbent test.
Yes, beta. This comes as a 1-marker question. So please remember, you should all know the full form of ELISA. Full form of ELISA is enzyme. Speak out, beta.
Enzyme-linked immunosorbent test.
It is based on which concept? It is based on the concept of antigens and antibodies. We were discussing about this. So if a question comes here, what were the two conventional methods of diagnosis? Tell me very quickly. What were the two conventional methods? Which analysis?
Serum and urine analysis.
Serum and urine.
What was the biggest drawback or the problem with this serum and urine analysis?
Early detection of diseases was not possible.
Yes, beta. Early detection was not possible, and when we would detect that time, what they ho jata tha, so this was the problem. So we have modern techniques. First was PCR. Second is rDNA technology, and which is the third one. If we talk about the modern diagnostic methods, ELISA technique. We talked about PCR earlier. Which two diseases it is basically used for?
HIV and AIDS and cancer in patients.
Good. Then we talked about rDNA technology, where we take a single stranded DNA or an RNA and we tag it with a radioactive material, which is called
Probe.
So all those which have mutant genes will not be observed. So we will be able to understand that this gene has a defect. And then we have the ELISA technique. What is the full form of ELISA?
Enzyme-linked immunosorbent test.
There are two types of questions which are asked, full form of ELISA, and the second question, 1-marker, which is asked is ELISA method is based on what principle? So you will answer this as a 1-marker question. It is based on antigen-antibody interaction. It is based on what principle?
Antigen-antibody
interaction.
If there are antigens, antibodies will certainly be produced. So what are the basic antigens which were made to enter? Proteins and glycoproteins. Which two antigens are used to detect antibody presence?
Proteins and glycoproteins.
Proteins and glycoproteins.
Yes, beta. If proteins and glycoproteins are present, that means the pathogen has already entered and the body has started producing the antibodies. Transgenic animals. Animals in which DNA manipulation has been done. Some change in the DNA has been done. Those which have a foreign gene, such kind of animals are known as transgenic animals. Nowadays, we have a lot of variety of these animals where DNA manipulation, some change in the DNA of animal has been done. Transgenic rats, rabbits, pigs, sheep, cows, fishes. 95% of existing transgenic animals are mice. Maximum changes in the DNA are possible in which animal? Mice. 95% of the transgenic animals. In other animals, it's a little difficult process to change the DNA, but in mice, it can be done very easily. What are the benefits of transgenic animals? Why do we change the DNA of such animals? Number one, normal physiology and development. Transgenic animals can be designed to allow the study of how genes are regulated and how they affect the normal functioning. See, beta, in transgenic animals, we control the genes. We control the genes. So there is no chance of a gene getting a mutant, gene becoming defective or gene becoming inactive. ऐसा कोई problem नहीं आएगा. So our genes are very active and the body will obviously function normally. The development of the body will be normal. The study of complex factors involved in the growth, such as insulin-like growth factors. We talked about insulin. Supposing the gene which produces insulin gets damaged, then the patient or the person suffers from diabetes. So if we insert a gene which is healthy and which can normally produce insulin, the person will never suffer from this disease. What we are trying to say is, if we insert artificial healthy genes, the development of the individual or the animal would be good. The animal will suffer from diseases very less. Second, study of diseases. Many transgenic animals are designed to increase the understanding of how genes contribute to the development of a disease. We are using transgenic animals to find more about diseases. For example, all the experiments which were done for cancer, fibrosis, arthritis, Alzheimer's, they were all done on transgenic animals only. They're specially made to serve as models for human diseases so that investigation can be done. We cannot investigate new drugs, new techniques on human beings. So we do this on whom? Which kind of animals?
Transgenic animals.
Transgenic animals.
The reason is very simple, because you can change their DNA, whatever changes you want, whatever foreign gene you want to insert, you can very easily insert in these organisms. So study of diseases, we can use them. Third is, human diseases can be treated by medicines, biological products. How? These animals produce useful biological products by introducing a portion of the DNA or the gene that codes for the product. See, there are genes which make certain products. They've given you an example. For example, you have this human protein. Let's have the name of this protein, alpha-1 antitrypsin. What is the name of the protein?
Alpha-1 antitrypsin. Alpha-1.
This is used to treat emphysema. It is used in the treatment of what?
Emphysema.
Name the disease. Sorry, name the protein, children.
Alpha-1 antitrypsin.
Yes, beta. This is used in treating a disease that is emphysema. Emphysema basically, it happens in the lungs, beta. When a person is short of breath, not able to breathe properly. This generally happens when the alveoli get damaged. Okay, or the lungs, the walls of the lungs become weak, something like that. So whenever there is a breathing problem, because of any XYZ reason problem in the lungs, that problem is known as what? What is that condition called as?
Emphysema.
Emphysema.
Yes, beta. To treat emphysema, we need a protein. What is the name of the protein?
Alpha-1 antitrypsin.
Alpha-1 antitrypsin.
This protein is produced by transgenic animals. So transgenic animals are giving us very useful products like alpha-1 antitrypsin. How do they produce? We insert the gene which produces this protein in these animals. So they automatically start producing this protein, and this protein can be used to treat emphysema. Similar attempts are being made for the treatment of phenylketonuria and cystic fibrosis. Two more diseases we are trying to cure with the help of these animals. Which two diseases? Which is the first disease?
Phenylketonuria and cystic fibrosis.
Yes, very good. Phenylketonuria is actually a hereditary disease. Basically, it is inherited only. Basically, we have a chemical, a substance in our body which is known as phenylalanine. What is there in the body?
Phenylalanine.
This has to be used, this has to be metabolized, this has to be broken down. But sometimes what happens is, in some individuals, phenylalanine is not used, and then brain damage can happen. How can it cause problem? This is basically a birth defect, beta. People are born with this defect. Okay, this is an amino acid. What is phenylalanine?
Amino acid.
Yes, it's an amino acid. This helps in building the body also. So as soon as a baby is born, immediately the doctor should test for this PKU. What is the short form of phenylketonuria?
PKU.
The doctor should immediately test, because the problem is that however treatment can be given to babies who have this problem, but remember this condition cannot be cured. We cannot cure it till now. A proper diagnosis, a proper screening should be done as soon as the baby is born. The sooner the treatment, the better it is. So you know about phenylketonuria now, which is the other disease which is mentioned.
Cystic fibrosis.
Cystic fibrosis.
What is emphysema, children? We were discussing about diseases. The first disease I discussed was emphysema. What is it? Problem in?
It is respiratory.
In lungs, which is caused
Yes,
by
lungs and breathing problem. Very good. The second I discussed was phenylketonuria over here. And the third is cystic fibrosis. This is also an inherited disease at present at the time of birth only. In this, the lungs and the digestive system completely get damaged. Both the lungs and the digestive system get damaged, beta. Okay. Actually, this cystic fibrosis is going to damage all the digestive cells, all the cells which cause digestive juices, those which produce sweat, because of which what happens, the liquid in the body become very thick and they start blocking all the pipes and the tubes in the body. Blockage starts. But remember, this is a very rare case. Very few people have this disease. A treatment can help, but remember again that this cannot be cured. Like PKU, even this cannot be cured. Okay, it is chronic. It can last for years, even lifelong, before a person dies from this disease. So both of them are very severe diseases. Both of them inherited. PKU also and cystic fibrosis also. We do not have a permanent treatment. Still, we are trying to do this. For example, the first transgenic cow, Rosie. Which was the first transgenic cow? Rosie. This cow is called a transgenic cow, Rosie, because we have introduced an artificial genetic material in the cow. And why was this done? So that its milk is very rich in proteins, 2.4 grams per liter. Okay. How many grams per liter do transgenic cows have protein in their milk?
2.4 gram per liter.
So this is a transgenic cow. This is what kind of a cow is this?
Transgenic cow.
Yes, Piche. So remember this. This is a transgenic cow. This is 2.4 grams per liter. Human protein is there. The milk contained the human, not protein. Don't get confused between protein and human protein. If I say protein, then every 1 liter of cow has 32 grams of protein on an average. If you're drinking 1 liter of cow's milk, how much of protein is entering your body?
32.
Beta 32 grams. But I'm talking about this 2.4 grams. Which protein is this?
Human protein.
Protein.
Yes, this is human protein. So how is human protein different from protein? Any idea what is a human protein, beta? Hmm?
Proteins which are
Anyone?
produced in human body.
Yes, beta, the natural proteins which are present. Very good. We have human proteins in the human body. These are produced naturally. Okay. In the cells, in the tissues, in the organs, we have human proteins. So these really help us. We basically have 10 different kind of proteins which are produced in the human body. See this, the name I told you total we have 10. We are talking about which one? Which protein? Alpha lactalbumin. What is the name of the human protein?
Alpha-lactalbumin.
Yes. This is more nutritious and more balanced product for human babies than the natural cow milk. The babies are not easily able to digest the cow milk because it contains artificial protein. Though it is 32 grams per liter, but that is not the natural protein. So if the mother is not able to feed the baby, otherwise it goes from the mother's milk, so it's natural protein. But if the baby is not getting sufficient amount, then we can give this kind of a cow. Transgenic cow's milk can be used, which produces a milk which has the normal protein. Which is the normal protein we have talked about?
Alpha-lactalbumin.
Alpha-lactalbumin.
Okay, this is more nutritious, easy to digest. Next is vaccine safety. Transgenic mice are being used for testing the safety of vaccines before they're used in humans. For example, polio vaccine. Now, before supposing a vaccine is made directly, we cannot use it for what? Directly can we use it for treatment?
No, ma'am.
Tell me.
First
We cannot
tested.
use. So first it has to be tested. Tested on whom? Whom should we test on?
Transgenic animal. Transgenic mice.
Yes, transgenic. What are transgenic mice? A very quick revision. What did we talk about transgenic animals? Animals in which what we have done? We have done inserted a foreign gene. Those kind of animals are known as transgenic organisms. So basically, all the testing is done on these only. If found reliable, they could replace the use of monkeys in order to test the safety of batches of the vaccine. First, all the tests were done on monkeys, but now it is very difficult to capture monkeys, control monkeys, keep them in captivity for testing. So the easier one was to use mice in place of monkeys, because keeping monkeys in captivity, testing on them is not easy. They are hyperactive, bigger organisms, so it is easier to test on mice. And the last is chemical safety testing. Supposing toxicity test has to be done. Supposing a medicine is there and we want to check whether it will leave a poisonous effect or not. So we can test it on the transgenic animals. Transgenic animals are made that carry the genes which make them more sensitive to toxic substances than the non-transgenic animals. How do we test? We insert a gene which is very sensitive to toxic. Even if 0.01% toxicity is there, that transgenic animal will fall sick, will be able to show that yes, this medicine is harmful. And then they are exposed to toxic substances, affected and studied. So we can get the results in less time. Normally, if a normal animal is responding in 20 days, supposing a drug is given which is toxic, the animal responds in 20 days. We have transgenic animals which will respond in 2 days. And they will tell, yes, this medicine is toxic. It is causing some harm in the human body. So these are the 5 places where transgenic animals are being used for. Let me have a quick revision. First was normal physiology and development. Obviously, healthy genes are introduced. So these organisms have a normal functioning of the body. Second is they can be used to study diseases like cancer, fibrosis, rheumatoid arthritis, and Alzheimer's. I'll discuss these diseases once I finish this if we have time. Biological products, we were talking about manufacturing artificially some products, for example, human protein. What is human protein called as? Which human protein? Yes, beta. Which was the first transgenic cow?
Rosie.
Rosie. How much amount per liter do transgenic cows have human protein?
2.4 gram per liter.
And fourth, we use them for testing vaccines. And fifth, we are using for testing the chemical safety, whether something is toxic or not. The last topic, ethical issues. We have done manipulation of organisms, beta. Okay, we have whatever God has made or whatever nature has made, we have done some changes in that. Some manipulations have to be done. So some people say it is unethical. It is not right. It is morally not correct. And we cannot get it go unregulated. Means we cannot allow everybody to do whatever they want. We cannot actually transfer a cow to a monkey or a monkey to a rice because people say this is unethical. This is not moral. The genetic modification of organisms can have unpredictable results when such organisms are introduced into the ecosystem. What do people support this? They say, beta, the ecosystem has a balance. if we keep on changing the organisms, if I say there is an organism which has complete immunity, it will not die only. So don't you think it's going to disbalance the ecosystem? Isn't it? We are changing the mice. We are changing 80% of the mice is being made transgenic these days. So we are somewhere damaging the balance of the ecosystem. The modification or the usage of living organisms for public service has also created problems with patents granted for the same. Now there is a lot of fight for patent also. What is a patent? Supposing if I'm able to artificially produce this protein, I talked about this protein from which protein did we talk about? Natural protein, tell me quickly.
Alpha-lactoferrin.
Yes. I have also produced, you have also produced. I am also going to sell it in the market with my company name, and you also want to sell it. So I will say, give me the patent for this. Patent means the only right, the sole right to sell this with this name. You will say, no, no, I discovered it, so I should get the patent. I should get all the benefit, the money which is there on selling this product. So these kind of issues are there, which are called patent issues. What do we call them as? Patents. What are these?
Patent issues.
Now, people who are
Patents.
selling Coke, supposing Limca or Coke, they have a patent for this. Nobody else can sell, make Limca and sell it by the name of Limca or Coke. What are these? These are known as, what is this rule? What is it? What is this word? Have you understood this word? Patents. There is a need for some ethical standards to evaluate our actions. These standards that are used to regulate our activities in relation to biological world are called bioethics. So there are some standard rules which everybody has to follow when we are talking about changing the organisms, manipulation of living organisms. What are these rules called as? Because they're not set up rules written as such, what do we call them as?
Bioethics.
Yes, they're called as bioethics. Ethic means what is moral. Public is very much concerned that certain companies are being granted patents for the products and technologies that make use of genetic materials. They're using DNA, RNA, and they're getting patents, plants, and other biological resources that have long been developed by the farmers and indigenous people of a specific region or country. Sometimes what happens is farmers are already using a particular product, but some people from a foreign country, developed country, they come, they go to the village and they see something new. Now the farmer does not know how to make a patent or how to apply for a patent. So what do these foreign companies do? They apply for a patent and then they start selling that product and they make a lot of money. So to control these issues, Indian government has set up organizations like GEAC, Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. What is the full form of GEAC?
Genetic Engineering Approval Committee.
Yes. And this takes all the decisions regarding the validity of GM research. Whether they'll check whether this research was done by the same person who has applied for the patent or they have stolen. Many varieties of Indian rice are being sold by British companies and other companies, foreign countries. Though these rice varieties are natives of India only, but they are selling them with different names. How did this happen? They must have visited some village or some areas in India where they saw this variety of rice, which was very good. Nobody had applied for a patent. So these British companies, they applied for it and they are selling this rice. So that is why this company was made. What is the name of GEAC?
Genetic Engineering Approval Committee.
Yes. Patent is, I just told you, having exclusive rights granted by a government or an investor to prevent others from using that invention. Supposing you invent something, then nobody else can sell that by your name. And when the patent is granted for biological entities and for products derived from them, they're called biopatents. So when you get a patent for a biological product, what are these patents called as?
Biopatents.
USA, Japan, and members of the European Union are awarding biopatents. India, as of now, does not have any right to award biopatents. So supposing you discover something, you will have to apply through the GEAC to these European Union countries. They will approve or they may not approve. What is biopiracy? You've heard about movie piracy, something like that only. Traditional knowledge related to bioresources can be exploited to develop modern applications. They can save time, efforts, and expenditure. What is biopiracy, beta? Use of bioresource by multinational companies without authority from the countries and people concerned without payment. I was just telling you about this rice wala example. What did they do? They did not take the authority from the country and the people of that area, and they did not even pay them for it. And they're just using that. So this piracy is known as which piracy?
Biopiracy.
Supposing I come to your house and you have something very unique which is not there. So I will take it from you. I will not pay you for it. And I will apply that I have discovered this or this is my patent. I will apply for it and I will get it. So what am I doing? What is this called as biopiracy? What is this called, children?
Biopiracy.
Yes. The majority of industrialized nations are very rich, but they're very poor in biodiversity and traditional knowledge as compared to undeveloped countries. Let's talk about India and America. In America is very rich. It's a developed country, industrial company, but biodiversity, if you talk about United Kingdom or USA, they do not have that much of biodiversity like India has. We've got so many plants, varieties, which are not there. So developing countries have more of biodiversity, but developed countries have more of what? They've got more of power and they've got more of money. So some nations are developing laws to prevent such unauthorized exploitation. Supposing we get to know कि इसमें कुछ गड़बड़ है in the patent, if there's some complaint comes, then there are some emergency provisions also, some research and development initiative. When a patent is taken on plants and seeds derived from Indian biological resource, biopiracy occurs. Supposing somebody is stealing something from India and putting it as their patent, we will say biopiracy is occurring. What is happening?
Biopiracy.
Let us talk about some controversies of biopiracy in India. I was giving you this example, basmati rice. I'm sure it's a household name. Every child has heard about basmati rice.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Beta, in India, we have been growing this rice for about hundreds and thousands of years now. Thousands of years we have been growing basmati rice. Okay. And we have so many varieties in India alone. Basmati is a very special rice because it has got a very nice aroma. What is aroma?
Smell.
Fragrance.
And its taste is also very good. But imagine what happened. 27 varieties of basmati rice are grown in India alone. If we talk about rice, we've got more than 2 lakh varieties, but only basmati, we have got 27 varieties. But what happened? There was an American company, Rice Tech. What is the name of the company?
Rice Tech.
Rice Tech.
Imagine in 1997, it took a patent of basmati rice. We are growing this rice for how many years now? Thousands of years in India, we are growing this rice, but nobody tried to take a patent for this rice. But this American company, some Americans must have come to India, tasted this rice, and then they found that nobody has taken a patent of basmati. So they thought, let us sell basmati. So what is the name of the American company who's taken a patent?
Rice Tech.
Yes. So now they're selling it in US, abroad, all other countries. This company, Rice Tech, is selling Indian basmati with their trademark name, Rice Tech. With their name, they are selling. They did not pay any compensation to the Indian farmers. They did not take the permission of the Indian government. Nothing was done. But now the entire world, it is being sold as a new variety. What do they call this variety as?
New variety.
It is not a new variety. We have been growing it for thousands of years. So this is a case of biopiracy. Now see this. The new variety of basmati was actually derived from the Indians farmers' varieties. What did they do? They took the Indian basmati, they crossed it with semi-dwarf varieties and claimed it as an invention by an American company. They did not do anything. They just took Indian basmati and some cases they hybridized it with semi-dwarf varieties, a little taller plants. And they said this is a novelty. This is a new discovery by an American company. The patent extends to functional equivalence, implying that other people selling basmati rice could be restricted by the patent. It is so strict now that nobody else has the patent. They are restricted now. Now, if I want, then I want to go and sell that brand, I cannot sell because this company has already taken a patent. What is the name of the American company?
Rice
Rice
Tech.
Tech.
So this is a kind of biopiracy, children. This is a kind of biopiracy. They are using something which was already there in India. I'll give you one more example of this. In May 1995, the US Patent Office granted to the University of Mississippi Medical Center a patent for use of turmeric in wound healing. Again, this is an Indian concept. बहुत पुराने जमाने से. People say in India, when somebody is hurt, haldi wala दूध पी लो. Okay, this is a very, very old concept. Thousands of years we have used this concept. But again, the same thing. Some people from US came and they saw in India that this is very common. Supposing there is a wound, people drink turmeric, this one, milk, and it really helps. So they have taken a patent now. Okay, US has given a patent to whom? University of Mississippi Medical Center. Who has got a patent of this use of turmeric in wound healing? University of?
Mississippi Medical
Mississippi
Center.
Medical Center.
They generally ask you for 3 examples of biopiracy from India. First was basmati rice, second is turmeric, and the third is neem beta. Ab 1995 mein when they became successful, so another patent came up by W.R. Grace and Company by the European Patent Office. Fungicidal use of neem oil. Again in India, it has been a tradition for thousands of years कि नीम के पत्ते रख दो तो किसी भी चीज में कीड़ा नहीं लगता है. I think this is a very old concept you must have heard in your families as well. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So this concept again they have stolen. Which is the company? The firm is W.R. Grace and Company. Which company has taken the patent for neem?
W.R. Grace and Co.
W.R. Patent Company.
And see, they have recently done it in 1995, 1996. But if you do not pay attention to these patents, our rich legacy will be encashed by other countries and individuals. See, this is Indian legacy. We have been using turmeric, we have basmati, we have neem applications. पहले तो जब चोट भी लगती थी नीम के पत्ते बांध देते थे and it really helped in wound healing also, turmeric and neem. Turmeric too, as it is now also, like COVID times you heard people saying drink turmeric wala milk. So this is such an old household concept in India, but we could not preserve these legacies, beta. So if we do not pay attention, what will happen? All our Indian legacies, who will take? Other foreign countries will come and take a patent of this. Let me discuss this very quickly with you. Okay, let me do this with you. Patents, we were talking about biopiracy. Okay, 3 cases of biopiracy in India. Which is the first one?
Basmati rice.
Basmati rice.
How many varieties of basmati rice we already have in India?
27.
27 varieties.
Tomorrow, I'm not planning to start a new chapter. I'll pick up 10 years papers and I'll show you that the 6 chapters that we've completed, which kind of questions come and how frequently the same kind of questions are repeated. So tomorrow we are not starting with a new unit. I'll start one day later. I'll start after 1 day or 2 days, whatever when you feel convenient, we'll discuss. And you'll see how questions come from these things. They may ask you the name of the company and all these things. So you should know now. Since we've done 6 chapters, 4 from ecology chapter and biotechnology and applications. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, if I'm not able to complete tomorrow, maybe I'll take 2 days. I want to first show you the type of questions and you'll be amazed to see that the same questions are repeated off and on, off and on. So let's do this. 27 varieties. Name the American company which took a patent.
Rice Tech.
Tech.
Yes, beta. US patent. And now they simply took this Indian one and they crossed it and they're selling it now. Which was the second patent which was taken for which substance was it?
Turmeric.
Turmeric.
Which year?
1995.
1995.
Yes. This patent was granted to whom?
University of Mississippi Medical Center.
University of Mississippi Medical Center.
To treat turmeric for what?
In wound
Wound
healing.
healing.
Yes. If you see in India, it's a very old concept of healing wounds by turmeric. If you go to villages and you talk to your great grandparents or grandparents, they will tell you कि चोट लगती है तो हल्दी वाला दूध पियो because wounds heal very soon with turmeric. It's got anti-inflammatory properties. Okay, it helps in healing of the body only. Even when people these days, it increases your immunity also. Which is the third one? Tell me very quickly. The patent which these foreigners have taken from India. Third substance.
Neem oil.
Neem.
Neem oil. Neem oil has what uses? What uses for neem? For killing what? Fungus.
Fungicides.
Okay, fungicidal properties. That means it can kill fungus, it can destroy fungus. Neem oil can destroy the fungus as well. So this is the property. Again, it is a very old tradition in India that we have been carrying on or that we have been doing. That neem has been used. When we keep our winter clothes, traditionally, now we put those naphthalene balls and all those things. But earlier when we were preserving our winter clothing, people used to keep what leaves in them?
Neem leaves.
Neem
Neem
leaves.
leaves. So that these worms and all they don't get. So biopiracy is without permission, without giving any kind of a compensation. They did not even buy, they did not pay anything. No money was paid, no compensation was given, and they are using it and selling it in their name. This is what we call as biopiracy. What is this called as?
Biopiracy.
Piracy.
Biopiracy is mainly taking place because the developing countries have a lot of biodiversity. They have a lot of plants and animals, but the developed countries have what? They have money and power. See, beta, the most technical problem I'll show you for biopiracy is this. Let me show you this line. You should read it carefully. We are not allowed actually, even if India wants, we cannot give this license. The main problem is this only. We cannot give this license. The patents cannot be given by us. The patents can be given only by very few countries. Okay? That is the main problem that all the developing countries, they face this problem. However, now we have a committee. See, these are the countries: USA, Japan, and members of European Union. Are we a member of the European Union?
No.
No. So who can allow patents? Who can give biopatents? USA, Japan, and members of the European Union. They can give biopatents. So obviously, if we want to apply, it's a long, tedious process for us. We cannot apply like this, and we will not be able to get it so easily also. That is the reason, though the government has made this committee. What is the name of this committee? GEAC. What does it stand for?
Genetic
Genetic Engineering Approval Committee.
Yes, beta. So if there is a complaint, we can just go to GEAC. We directly cannot go and approach these people over there. GEAC will speak to European Union countries, whatever organizations they have over there. So they're using a traditional knowledge, biopiracy. Look at the definition. Use of bioresources by